G'day, I'm Doug from Meat and Livestock Australia. Welcome to the Rare Medium Academy Masterclasses. Today we're going to talk to you about selecting, preparing and cooking Australian beef and lamb for your barbecue. Today's cut is a point end brisket. This one has been vacuum packed. When you're selecting vacuum packed meat, you want to make sure that bag's nice and tight around the meat, that there's no air in the bag and there's very little meat juice in there. Now we all know storing our vacuum packaged meat fat side up is the best way. All the meat juices go down to the bottom of the bag, so when we open it up fat side up, all the meat juices down the bottom and there's less mess. Now we're going to show you how to open the meat properly. First of all, make sure the fat is on the top. We don't want all that meat juice flowing all over the place, so we want to have all the meat juice underneath. You get your knife, we're just going to slice gently through the bag, open it up nicely and take the meat out, leaving all that meat juice in the bag to be discarded. Okay, now that we've removed the meat from the bag without leaving too much of that meat juice on, the reason why we'd like to remove all that meat juice is so the meat doesn't slide around all over the board while we're trying to work on it. What I'm looking for is those big thick deposits of fat, so we just roll her over on that side. I'm going to start removing some of that fat there, down that point end of the brisket and that end of it as well. Then we're going to roll her back over and start removing a lot of that fat on this side as well. So now our brisket's all ready to go over to Chef Sam, who's going to show you how to cook a low and slow brisket.
Thanks, Dougie. We've got this brisket ready to go. He's trimmed it nicely for us, and while he's trimmed it, he's allowed it to come to room temperature, which is going to be fantastic when it hits the barbecue. We've got a good blend here. 60% cracked pepper, 40% kosher salt. We're going to make sure we rub that all in the crevices on the above and underside of the point end brisket. Then we're going to allow 15 to half an hour for those flavours to really penetrate and absorb all the moisture out of our brisket. Next step, we're going to cook on our smoker at 135 degrees until we get an internal temp of around 65 degrees. In that process, every half an hour, we're going to give it a good spritz. What's a spritz? It's a liquid that absorbs into the brisket and stops it from drying out. We've got 1/3 apple cider vinegar, 1/3 beef stock, 1/3 water. We're going to give it a good spray every half an hour, and then we're going to put the hood down. What the hood will do is allow that smoke to penetrate and give that wonderful smoke ring we're after for our brisket. We've reached 65 degrees Celsius. Now it's time for the crutch hold. We're going to remove our brisket, place it back in front of us. We're going to wrap it with aluminium foil. We want to get a nice tight wrap all around our brisket. Then I'm going to peak the top and we're going to lightly pour in about 300 mils of beef stock. Then we're going to wrap it back up, put it into our Weber, and we're going to smoke it to an internal degrees of 95. Once we reach 95, we're going to remove the brisket from the barbecue and then rest it for about 5 minutes with the aluminium foil up just to release the steam. Then we're going to wrap it back up. We're going to wrap it then in tea towels, put it into our esky and rest it for 2 hours prior to carving. The great thing about these pellet grills with Weber here today is that we can control the temperature. We can get the exact degree of doneness that we want that takes the stress out. Look, it's all good to have your charcoal or your traditional wood-fired smoke ovens, but when you're in food service, you really want that kind of set and forget. Put it in, lock in your temperature, get the smoke you want, get the desired result you want. That's what's good about these smoke pellet barbecues. Okay, we've got the best beef you could possibly get out of this Weber smoke fire unit. Now let's see how it fits in a food service menu. Well, we've done it here today with some Boston beans, some slaw, some pickles. You can also do it in a wonderful sandwich or a power bowl offering. It's so versatile, it'll meet your cost of goods and you'll have happy customers, and that's what it's all about with Australian beef. To serve, burnt ends. What are burnt ends? Well, we've taken the point end off the brisket. We've cubed it and then we've put it onto a tray. We've made a homemade barbecue sauce, drizzled it over the top, put it into the barbecue, hood down 140 degrees for half an hour. It reduced, caramelized, and gave us the perfect accompaniment to our brisket, condiments, and salad. Look at that brisket, the smoke ring, the tenderness. The end result was well worth the 9-hour cook. That is the holy mecca of low and slow American barbecue. And we've shown you how to do that here today at Rare Medium Academy.